Hello, my name is Robin Ryde and I'm a senior consultant with the Oxford Group. I also have a real interest and expertise in the area of leadership and organizational life, and I've written a number of books on the topic, particularly leadership during transformation and change, and I'm also a former CEO. And I'm delighted to be able to share some thoughts about what I'm seeing happening in the current pandemic in terms of organizational responses. And I guess I'm really keen to understand whether you too are seeing some of these, I think, interesting developments in terms of how we operate in organizations. So the first thing that I'm seeing is a change in the kinds of conversations that we are having. Now, by this, I don't mean that we're moving to virtual. What I mean is actually the quality of those conversations has somehow changed quite significantly. So we might be thinking about our ability to put our services online, for example. And in so doing, we're trying to work out where does the value actually lie in what we are doing. You know, what is it that we offer that can now be represented in an entirely different medium? But also, I think we're having conversations which are in many ways much more honest and are having to be honest because we are trying to work out our way to get through all of this. And with that, we are asking questions of ourselves and one another about what's possible, what's being expected of us, how long will this continue for, and so on and so forth. And I also think many of the conversations are different because they're about learning. A lot of us are trying to do things very, very differently, and inevitably in those experiments encountering things that work well and things that don't work well, and then we're adapting very, very quickly to that. So I think the first thing that's happening is the quality and type of conversations is quite different, and I think there's actually a real potential in there to learn more about our organizations, our value, and how we get better at what we're trying to do. I think the second thing, which is partly related to that, is that we're seeing new forms of relationship occurring. So, in this approach of inevitably having to be a little bit more vulnerable, for example, when we try out things or when we ask questions that we really don't know the answers to, I think we're starting to build connections with people in ways that weren't there before, much more trusting relationships, relationships that are much more authentic and are about us asking of ourselves and others difficult questions because they need to be asked right now. And one of the consequences of that is the relationships are becoming stronger and deeper in some ways. And that could be surprising to us, given that actually a lot of our conversations are virtual, whereas before they were face to face. So I think the third thing that arises from all of this is that we are seeing, I think, the opportunity to create more value. So all of this is allowing us to think about what actually is it that we do that generates value and that we can charge for. And I don't wish to get so direct about it, but all of our organizations are trying to find ways to continue to conduct business. And we are, of course, holding in mind that we have clients that want services and they want to gain benefits that are worth paying for. And that's causing us to have some really soul-searching questions about what is the value ultimately that we provide to our clients. And I think these are very, very useful. So my observations in this area is that actually I think there are some new spaces opening up. And I think, and I mean this in the most positive sense of the word, we should exploit these as much as possible so that when we come out of this on the other side, we've gained the benefits of deeper, more authentic, more trusting relationships. We gain the benefit of having developed the skill in holding different conversations and learning more effectively. And we've understood ultimately what's the real value that resides within our offer as organizations. So I hope this has been stimulating for you, and let's continue the conversation.